Hello and thank you for watching. My name is Rachel Barnett with Gentle Frog. I'm here to create videos for you to help you understand QuickBooks slightly better than you currently do. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please put them in the chat box. Thank you.
In this video, I want to show you how you can find and correct duplicate income. Every so often, you'll look at your profit and loss and say, oh my gosh, this would be fantastic income, but that's not right. Somehow, somewhere, something got duplicated. Let's go ahead and take a look at it together. All right, so to get started, we're going to go to Reports on the left-hand side of our screen. We're then going to select Reports. I'm going to select Profit and Loss. I don't need a fancy profit and loss. This one's just fine. In my example, I put my double income in January, so I'm going to look at January and see if there's any double income. For you, I recommend you do this on a regular basis. You should always be looking at your books to make sure they make sense. We're just going to go to the income. So in make-believe land, we've identified that our income is higher than it was in real life. In QuickBooks land, it shows $3,600, but in real life, that's not right. So to identify the problem, we're going to click on the total income. This is going to provide us a list of all the transactions that equal the $3,600. We're going to look through our list and we're going to say, is there anything here that is doubled up, anything weird going on? In my example, there are very few things. It's very easy to see that it's the 300. But let's pretend like your QuickBooks has a lot of entries. All right. I realize in this case, it's not very interesting because there's not a lot of data. Let me just expand this. I think I've got a little more sample data in here. So now I have a lot of stuff. And if I say, okay, sort this by transaction type, I'm asking it to sort that way, not by date, not by anything else. What I'm really looking for as I do this is I'm looking for any deposits. I know that the flow of my income is that I send an invoice or I make a sales receipt, then the money gets paid if it's an invoice, right? First I ask for the money, second I get the money, and third the money goes in the bank account. If I see that the money skipped over those first two steps and went straight into the bank account, that's going to be my clue that I've doubled up. It's too hard to just magically find that, so I try to shortcut it. I'm like, okay, bookkeeping revenue, no deposits, collapse. Sales, there's a couple deposits. That's probably from some other example that I was doing, so we're just going to pretend like we don't see those. Pretend like we don't see these. This one, I have a deposit of $300 for Duncan Harrington. Now in make-believe land, I'll recognize that that's one of my clients, and I'll think, well, I mean, that seems legit, right? He bought something, I remember selling it to him, all this good stuff. But the whole point of this is we have to find and fix our duplicate income. I'm just going to duplicate my tab. This will take a moment. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to go to my customer list. So I'm going sales, I'm going to customers, I'm going to go here to Duncan. And I can see that there was an invoice for Duncan for $300. I can see Duncan paid it. Everything is fine until you realize that this payment on 125, if I click into it, I said on 125, this money went in my checking account. But if I go back to my original tab, I'm looking at this deposit right here. And if I click on this deposit, I'm telling QuickBooks that I'm depositing money on 131 into my checking account for Duncan. I have two entries of $300 when only one $300 went into my bank account. So let me click cancel. Let me duplicate this tab. The extra steps are not really necessary. The extra steps are for me to show you so that when I show you how to fix it, you'll be like, okay, I got it. So what I'm doing is I'm going to the chart of accounts. So accounting, chart of accounts. I want to look at my checking register. So I'm going to go over here, click view register. If you have a different way to get to your register, that's totally fine. What I want to do is I want to see, do I really have two entries of $300? Now, I don't need to because I made the whole example, but I want you to see it and I want you to feel comfortable. If you have a lot of things in your register and if it's going to take a very long time to scroll through it all, I'll encourage you to click on the funnel to say find and search for what you're looking for. So now I see 2 payments for Duncan. I see one of them reconciled. If you're not comfortable or familiar with what that means, I have a different video to explain bank reconciliation. I know that only one of these went to the bank and one of them has to be deleted. If I delete the entry that does not have the R on the right-hand side, I'm going to delete the entry that says, this is a payment towards this invoice. That's not fair because Duncan paid his invoice. I don't want to mark it as unpaid. So now I need to do something different. I need to say, gosh, QuickBooks, when I recorded this deposit, I accidentally doubled up my income. I accidentally said, this is sales of product income. But earlier I told QuickBooks that I had sale because I made an invoice and then the invoice got paid. So I need to get rid of this one and only have the other one. If I try to get rid of this one, I'll get an error message. Let me show you. I'm going to go to more at the bottom of my screen. I'm going to go to delete and it says, this has been reconciled. Deleting it will change your stuff. Are you sure you want to? The answer is no, I do not want to. So here's the fix. Go to the entry where it says receive payment, has your customer name and the deposit to. You're going to change the deposit to. For me, it says payments to deposit. For you, it might say payments to deposit, or it might say undeposited funds. So it's going to go into payments to deposit. I'm going to say save and close. Are you sure you want to modify? Yep, I'm sure I want to modify. All I'm doing is saying, take this out of my bank register so that I can deal with it. So let's refresh the bank register so that I can show you that it's gone. It's gone. Let's go back to Duncan, refresh Duncan. He's still paid. I have not messed up Duncan at all. I still have double income. If I refresh this, I'm still going to see that I have the extra 300. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll do the last step to fix this. So I know the thing that I don't want is the deposit. I don't want the deposit because it says put money directly into sale of product income, and the deposit is not linked in any way whatsoever to my invoice. So what I'm going to do is say, gosh, QuickBooks, the $300 should be linked to this, which is a payment for an invoice, and it should not be linked to this. So I'm going to put a trash can here, and I'm going to say save and close. It says it's been reconciled. That's fine, because I'm not changing the dollar amount. I'm just saying change the income, like take it out of the other bucket that I pulled from thin air and link it to the invoice that I made. When I look at this, I see only 1,300. I'm not going to refresh, but I promise you I see only 1,300 here. And when I go to my bank register, I only see 1,300. I hope this has been helpful. If you get stuck or if you need someone to walk you through this, please don't hesitate to book a call with myself or my team. Thank you so much and have a great day.